It's unfair. You want to meditate to heal your trauma, but when you have trauma, meditation is not always that easy. Meditation is widely seen as one of the most powerful tools for healing trauma and soothing your emotions. It helps calm the mind, build awareness, and bring us back into the present moment. But in my experience, through my own meditation practice, through research, and through years of being a meditation teacher, meditation is not always a gentle path. Sometimes meditation can bring up painful thoughts, emotional discomfort, and even relived trauma. Let's discuss why that happens and how to approach meditation safely if, like myself, you happen to be a trauma survivor. And if you love helpful meditation content that goes hard and empowers you, hit subscribe. One of the reasons meditation can feel painful is because it often encourages us to turn inward, to observe our thoughts, our emotions, and our sensations that we might usually avoid. And that is not always a gentle process. That's especially true for people who have learned to associate seemingly positive experiences like love, like relaxation, even like breathing, with pain. Let me explain what I mean. Let's talk about loving kindness meditation. Loving kindness meditation is a practice that is meant to cultivate feelings of love and compassion. Beautiful, right? But what if you happen to have learned to associate love with pain? This is more common than you might think. For someone who has experienced emotional abuse or abandonment, the feeling of love is often tangled up with fear, grief, and betrayal. So when a meditation asks you to feel or to send love, it can open emotional wounds rather than soothing things. What about if breath is a trigger? Breath awareness is regarded as the absolute number one tool for relaxation in the entire world, right? And for many people, that is absolutely true. It's framed as this powerful way to relax. But here's something that doesn't get said enough. Not everyone finds the breath relaxing. For example, I have asthma. And I know I've had this firsthand, so I've had moments, many of them, especially as a child, when I couldn't breathe properly, when I felt like I was suffocating, when every inhale was a struggle, when I feared whether my next breath might come, when I ended up spending nights in hospital. So when I was beginning my meditation training, now so long ago, the idea of focusing on my breath didn't bring peace. It made me remember the times when I was in hospital struggling to breathe. People with asthma or panic disorders and other respiratory conditions can associate breathing with trauma. So being told to focus on your breath as a way to relax is completely counterproductive. I'll give one final example. Let's talk about the more cognitive styles of meditation, such as Vipassana, techniques that involve observing your thoughts and inner world very closely. These practices are powerful, especially for insight, but they can be very, very difficult for people with trauma, with PTSD, or with certain mental health conditions such as BPD. When your mind has been the source of incredible pain, focusing on it can reopen old wounds. Some people find that those introspective forms of meditation, such as self-inquiry and Vipassana and things like that, make things get worse before they get better. Now, this doesn't mean that not to meditate. Of course, I'm insanely passionate about meditation. That's the last thing that I would ever say. But what it does mean is that you do need to approach meditation wisely if you're somebody who has been through trauma. You need to be aware of the fact that things like breathing, if you have had respiratory conditions, could bring the association to mind of those times when you're in hospital and make you feel terrible. You need to be aware of things like your body, because the body stores trauma. If you meditate on your body, such as in somatic meditation or in body scan, then that could inadvertently, again, resurface that trauma. Now, you might have noticed a very common theme about what I've been discussing here, and that is association. And that is the very heart of this issue. It's all about association. When a meditation practice involves something that you associate with trauma, whether that's the breath, thoughts, love, body, it could be anything, because trauma can be so multifaceted. If your meditation is associated with trauma, then it can lead to a trauma response. And again, that's why things like the breath can lead to panic, why loving kindness with people who've learned to associate love with fear and with pain can, bring up things like fear of abandonment, and why the more cognitive styles of meditation, such as analytical meditation, vipassana and stuff like that, often the Buddhist ones actually, could trigger association because you've learned to associate the mind with pain. But there is good news. Thankfully, there is a simple and an effective way to meditate safely as somebody who has experienced trauma. Here's how to do it. 1, throw out the one-size-fits-all advice. Breathing meditation isn't always the answer. Neither is loving kindness. These practices, for the majority of people, yes, they're amazing, they're wonderful. And we know through research that they bring really big benefits, but not necessarily for everyone. And that's a massive problem of science, especially on research into meditation right now. It doesn't look very specifically at the effects that different techniques have on people with different histories. So throw out the one-size-fits-all. Do not do any form of meditation that involves something that you as an individual associate with trauma. Now, nobody else, not me, not Buddha himself, can tell you what you associate with trauma, because it's so multifaceted. But you know you. So if you find that you associate something with trauma, do not allow it to be a part of your meditation practice. Now, that's what you should do in the beginning. When you are an experienced meditator, and I want to repeat that because this is really, really important. When you are an experienced meditator, when you feel grounded and you feel that you can comfortably start to work directly on your trauma, do it. But not until you feel comfortable with it. Example, I've been talking about how people with relationship problems in their past might associate loving kindness and the idea of love itself with pain. For those people, at the beginning of their meditation journey, it is best to just avoid the concept of love entirely. Just focus on techniques that feel comfortable for you. But then, when you are an experienced meditator, when you feel grounded, when you feel, you know what, I'm at a place now where I can look back on this trauma and I can begin to work on it directly and heal it, then do start to work on it. So again, if you're somebody who has had trauma related to relationships and you've learned that love can equal pain, at the beginning, avoid anything like loving kindness until you feel really grounded. Then once you feel confident in yourself to say, I can tackle this right now, then gradually introduce a little bit of the thing that you do associate with trauma, because it's only by gently bringing up those associations that you can heal them. But you have to do that only when you are ready to do it. And when you do it, also use grounding techniques so that when you're working directly on your trauma, you stay grounded as you do it. And that is how you effectively use meditation to heal trauma. A quick recap. Firstly, not all meditations work for everybody. If you've been through trauma, you, individually you, and only you know this, you might have learned to associate different things with trauma. It could be the breath, like me, if you've had incidents of asthma as a kid that sent you to hospital. Could be love that creates trauma for you if you've been through, relational abuse or something like that. Only you know that. So avoid, at the beginning of your journey, avoid any of those associations to your trauma. Once you feel that, and there'll be a click, there will be a click, and you will know. You, not anybody else, not me, not any other teacher, not a guru, no one else. You will know when you are ready to work directly on those traumas. When you feel that you're ready, gradually introduce them, but while staying grounded. That will allow you to heal those traumas while you stay grounded. And that is my little guide to how to meditate safely as somebody who has experienced trauma, as a trauma survivor. I hope that you found this really helpful. It's a really big passion of mine as somebody who has PTSD and BPD. It's a very, very big passion of mine to use my own experiences and my pretty vast knowledge of meditation to help. If I have helped you, it honestly fills my heart with joy when I see a comment from somebody that says, you know what, this actually really helped me. Thank you very much. That motivates me to keep going. So if you felt really good about this, if this is helpful, please leave a comment and remember to subscribe. You can work privately with me in meditation lessons on thedailymeditation.com. And I'm going to, in the description and in the comments, leave some very useful resources that you can use to help you in your healing journey. I'll see you next time.